Okay, so I'm going to start this video with a disclaimer. So let's get that out of the way. Working on electrical devices can be hazardous to your health, up to including death. No one should attempt to perform this type of work without the proper training and equipment. Nothing in this video should be considered fact or advice. Your circumstances and equipment may be different, so do your own research. Another factor to consider is that modifying your equipment will most likely void any warranty on that equipment. If you do attempt to work on any electrical device, make sure that the power is turned off and any capacitive device holding electricity is discharged.
I am making some modifications to our Trane XR 4-ton air conditioning compressor because, and let me just give you a shot of the label here on this. This is a 4-ton heat pump. The rotor lock amps up to 130, as you can see here. So problem that we had was when we would run the generator, sometimes this thing would be able to, the generator would be able to power it, and sometimes it wouldn't. It seemed like if we left it off for a long period of time so that it bled off the pressure, that it would come on, and then the inrush, after the inrush, it would be okay and we could turn on other things, but it was just a pain in the neck in order to, like, flipping switches in order to get the AC to come on, and sometimes wouldn't come on at all, so that was kind of a pain in the neck. So basically what I did is I installed a Micro Air Easy Start Flex. This is the one that they recommend for, they used to have different models, but now this one just does it all, I guess, up to like 6 or 7 tons. At any rate, this thing is, it seems kind of daunting when you first take a look at it and you start looking at all these schematics and wiring diagrams and things of that nature. But basically, I'm going to give it to you in a nutshell. This device has only 4 wires that come out of it, okay? And the black wire and the white wire, similar to what you have in a housing lighting circuit, goes on one side of the contactor, the black wire, and on the other side of the contactor. This is after the contactor comes on, okay? And then there is another wire, which is the orange wire, that goes up to the Herm terminal of your capacitor. And then the only other wire that is there is the brown wire. And the way it works is, instead of hooking the contactor directly to the compressor, you cut this red wire that goes to the compressor, which is this one right here, and you put the brown wire with a butt connector on here. Now I used number 10 eyelet connectors on these, so you're going to need some eyelet connectors to make a good connection, a butt connector here. And this was like a tab connector on the orange wire. It doesn't come with any connectors. You can buy them, or if you're handy, you go to the big box store and you get the ones. But get number 10, and they're supposed to be 600 volt connectors to put on there. There's plenty of wire. This one, I'm going to have enough room inside the box, inside the wiring area here, so I'm going to be able to mount it right in here. I think the packaging is a little bit smaller, but I would advise you, I've seen too many of these things with water inside them, so if you're going to mount this outside of an enclosed area, you're going to have problems. It's going to fill up with water. Let's see, what else? That's about it. I've run it through all 5 cycles to let it learn. The first cycle, I'll give you that information here just in a second. The first cycle that it ran, it was 52.5 Yeah, 52.5 amps, starting amps. The second startup was 49.9 amps. The third startup was a significant improvement of 26.5 startup amps. And then it kind of leveled out. The fourth one was 27.3. The fifth one, 26.4. So I'm surmising that even though that said that the first one was 52.5, I'm guessing that it was more than that because my generator will handle 52 amps with no problem. One of the tricks that this thing does is to help cut down on the inrush power is it lets the fan start first, and then 5 seconds later it starts the compressor, so that automatically cuts down on all the inrush power from when you turn on the contactor and your air conditioner starts up. But the next step is to get all this mounted in here, close it up, and then tomorrow I'm going to hook the generator back up and run the air conditioner off the generator. So everything looks really good here. I didn't get a screenshot of the very first one, the very first startup, because I was too concerned. I was sidetracked looking for smoke. So, but it seems to be working great. It sounds smoother, it sounds softer, so hopefully this will be great for a long period of time. Right, I've got this thing mounted in here. It was pretty easy. There were some holes already drilled in here, and so I just found myself a really short screw and put it right through here into one of the screws. I only put in one screw because once the cover goes on here, this thing's not going anywhere. Couldn't find my zip ties, so I just kind of taped this big honking wire up here. You could trim this off, but man, this is a bear to get this insulation off of here. And so I just looped it up, put some tape around it. I'm going to just push it in here and close it back up. Now, I don't think I'm going to put these back in there. When I opened this up, I found two dead baby snakes inside here. These are rat snakes, but interesting what you find when you open these things up. Not to mention a bunch of spider cocoons. Anyway, so that pretty much wraps it up. I'm going to close this thing up, and then next start will be when we start up the generator tomorrow.